Hi there, my name is Revv Browne, and I'm here to discuss the fantastic idea of becoming a person of value. Now, I've traveled around the world to several countries, coming from Trinidad and Tobago, beautiful island in the Caribbean, now based in Europe, and again, going around and really helping people to become a person of value. What I really want to emphasize is how do we go about navigating our way through life? I have some notes here, just a few points that I'd like to introduce and encourage you to work on in your personal life. Remember, the key is becoming a person of value. Now, when we talk about becoming a person of value, one of the things I would first recommend is the thing called self-talk. Self-talk, talking to yourself. What are you saying to yourself about you? Doesn't matter what everybody else says. What you say, that's what really matters. As a matter of fact, I'm not even talking about what people are saying about you. That's your reputation. I'm talking about who you see yourself as. Now, this is going to make a lot of difference as you go forward, trying to find your place, you know what I'm saying, towards your goal, whatever that goal may be. So talking to yourself is very important. What are you saying to yourself? Some people can talk themselves out of an opportunity as well as they can talk themselves up and gain the best that is available to them. My thing is that you've got to, first of all, in talking to yourself, you've got to know a few things. One of the things you need to know is, where do you see yourself? Where do you want to go? Try and understand that, because usually the principle is, if you haven't heard of it before, is to begin with the end in mind. You've got to begin with the end in mind. Where do you see yourself? How far do you think you can go? That is most important. Just using myself as an example, I remember probably around, 15, 20, could be 25 years ago. I sat in the back of a vehicle, a car. My colleague and myself, we had, of course, our general manager was driving us to a particular location. And somehow I started visualizing myself as being chauffeured from one place to the next. And my colleague looked across and he saw the look on my face as I anticipated my success. And he said, "What's happening?" And I said to him, "I am enjoying my success." Of course, we chuckled because we will now be driven by our CEO to our next assignment. But here I was in my mind seeing where I was going and actually seeing it as a present tense situation. So what I'm saying is, begin with the end in mind. Having done this, I've been able to travel to several countries, of course, being chauffeured from one point to the next. And this is what I'm saying. I could not have done that is my belief, unless I first saw the end from the beginning and then began to speak to myself that it is possible to do that. It is possible to arrive at my destination, that place that I see myself. That's one. You've got to begin to talk to yourself. Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter what the circumstances are. You can talk yourself out of that situation. I promise you, it has been done over the years by many, many successful people. And they testify today that that was part of the process in becoming who they are. And remember, we're talking about becoming a person of value. That's what we're talking about. Secondly, I want to mention the word and it may be a bit challenging to some of us, is the word character. Now, character, like I said in the previous, when I was describing the whole aspect of who do you see yourself as and what kind of conversation you're having with yourself. Character, again, is not what people are saying about you. That again, is your reputation. Your character is who you really are. I'll tell you how to get to the point of understanding who you really are. And remember, this is not about blaming or beating down on yourself. This is about recognizing who you are as opposed to who you want to be. And a lot of times we are not who we really want to be. That is why when you do some things and someone really catches you and holds you to account for it, and they would ask you, why did you do this? You would say, I don't know. And here comes the feeling of guilt, of shame. You know why that is so? Why is that feeling of guilt and shame really happening to you? It is because the person you have just demonstrated yourself to be is not who you really want to be. That's not who you see yourself as. Hence the guilt and the shame. So the thing is, precious circumstances, they expose who you really are. And don't be discouraged if what you discover about yourself is not very comforting and it's not really who you want to be. That's an opportunity to now begin to work on particular areas of your life. Again, we're talking about becoming a person of value. And I'm not giving you a breakdown list, and this is by no means an exhausted list of how to become successful. I'm just giving you some few pointers that I am positive if you take it on board, guess what? You're going to find your life being transformed. Even in incremental stages, you will see it as day follows night. You will see transformation taking place, and more importantly, people also will see it. And the people that you're really trying to impress, and you've got to want to be impressing somebody, because if you're going to get from A to Z, somebody is going to have to assist. And what you really want people to do is to trust you. You want people to invest in you. So you've got to be working on particular areas of your life, which now brings us to the word diligence. Part of being diligent is being patient. I have a definition here where it relates to being patient. It talks about the bearing up of provocation, annoyance, misfortune, or pain without complaint, loss of temper, or anger. That sounds kind of unrealistic, but it's not. You see, no one was born patient. There was no one on this earth that was born diligent. There is no one that was even born rude or disrespectful. These are all qualities that we've developed, and it's based a lot of times on the influence of our environment, maybe by association, and even sometimes genetically. Those are some of the ways that we are influenced and our minds are trained as we become the person we are today. So it doesn't matter where you are right now in the area of your patience or diligence. I'm telling you where you can begin to work on in areas of your life. I've heard people say when they've done something silly, they exclaim, "That is me, and you know who I am. That's just how I am." No. Don't do that. That's how you became. And if you become that person, you can become another person. Which brings us to a final word that I want to share with you. In being diligent, the word is courage. Courage, a quality of the diligent. Have courage to change. Whether it's to change your location, change your job, change habits, change lifestyle, even change some of the company you're keeping. Have the courage to change, because in developing and becoming a person of value, all of these things you've got to begin to take into consideration. Who is your association? Who are you hanging out with? Chances are, remember I said, your mind is trained. You become the person that you are, either through genetics, through the environment that you're growing up in, and your association, the company that you keep. And if you look at your life now and find that this is not who I want to be, this is not where I want to be, then you've got to now begin to put things together, things that need to be changed. And you've got to have courage sometimes to change some things about you. You've got to begin to change. And let me just look at one of the things that I think most of us are challenged in the area of changing, and that is our company, our association, the people that we frequently hang out with. you've got to begin to look at that. Show me your company and I'll tell you who you are, is the statement. I just want to know, what do you want out of life? Where do you see yourself going? And if you see yourself going in a particular direction, now begin to look at the people that are already there. I try to identify some of the qualities that they have that you have yet to develop. Let me say this, just one more thing, and this is in closing because I have a bit more to say, but I don't want to give you all at one time. I just want to give you a little touch of how to become a person of value. Look at your shortcomings. If you're in a job right now and the job is demanding or expecting a certain level of performance, go to the place where you, or at least aspire to get to that place where you are delivering the expectations that they have of you. Go to the distance, go to the extent. And not just go to the extent to reach the expectations, but to exceed the expectations. One of the ways you will exceed expectations that people have on you, especially in the workplace, is to be willing to give more in service than you are being paid for. Don't come on time and try to leave on time, watching the clock. Look at what the work is requiring in order for the establishment or the company to progress, and be a part of that process where you give more in service than you are being paid for. As a matter of fact, what is your reason for wanting a raise? What is your reason for wanting more money? If all you are doing on the job is what you already signed up to be paid for. So if you want to have an argument for a raise, a salary, wisdom would tell us, begin to invest more time into that environment, into that company, into your department. See areas that are lacking and make efforts to fill these areas, to eradicate the lack in these particular areas. Look at your skills. See what other skills are required in your workplace that will get you into another department. After all, you are becoming a person of value. And in becoming a person of value, you add value to the workplace and you add value to people. And by extension, people appreciate when they see things of value. People appreciate the efforts you would make. I want to leave you on this final note. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to become great. Go on. There's greatness inside of all of us. Go on to become a person of value, and you will see life change for you.